Alright, Ryan Hartson Show, BWC Internet Radio. Coming back now. We're going to talk about Ben Roethlisberger a little bit. I can't understand people sometimes. Like, one day, if you go to Saturday night before the Super Bowl, how many people hated Ben Roethlisberger not hated him, weren't high on his play based on, what he had done so far? People that, just whether you still hate him for the sexual assault thing or not is irrelevant. But just based on his play on the field, how many people, weren't a big fan of him and wouldn't put him in the elite class of quarterback? I know about one that works on our station, Willie McGinty. He's been an analyst a few times on the show, and he didn't think Ben Roethlisberger was an elite quarterback, which makes no sense at all. Because, I've said it, he's won 2 Super Bowls. He makes the plays in the fourth quarter that need to be made, and I still believe he can do that. But for whatever reason, it could not be done in the Super Bowl. And that is not Ben Roethlisberger's fault. Could it be by some miraculous circumstance, by a miracle to end all miracles, that maybe the Packers defense just was able to outplay Ben Roethlisberger on the last 2-minute drive? Nah. No way. That's impossible, Ryan. Absolutely not. Ben Roethlisberger, he's a choker. He's a choker. He cannot make plays at the end of games. He's a choker. It's not like he's ever thrown a game-winning touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes to win a Super Bowl. No. He cannot do it. He cannot win games close. And it was evident in that Super Bowl, Ryan. He is a choker. And he could not finish out that game. It is his fault that he lost that game. He is not an elite quarterback. He's not even in the top 10 in the league. What a joke. He's got a great defense. He's got a couple good receivers. That's the only reason he's any good. If he was on a team that needed him to make all the plays, he would be awful. He would be terrible. Oh my God. Could you imagine me coming on the air and saying that for 10 minutes? Or, 12, 13 minutes, however long these segments usually are. I mean, seriously? No. Absolutely. Ben might have gone down one notch for me. When a guy loses a Super Bowl, does some of the luster, does some of his shine go away? Absolutely. Absolutely. The shine is gone after losing a Super Bowl. There's just not, the same glamour isn't there, right? You see Ben Roethlisberger, see him smile, and that little ding in his teeth because they're so white. This afternoon now, when he smiles, it's not like his teeth are black. There's just not the ding. They're still white, right? It's not like he's been eating motor oil. There's still a glamour to Ben Roethlisberger, a gleam, as Marty Schottenheimer would say. There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. Is some of that gone for Ben? Absolutely. You lose a Super Bowl, I think I'll look at you a little differently the day after it happens. Today is Monday. Today is a day where a lot of people react emotionally. I am doing everything I can not to do that. As a Packer fan, I am absolutely pumped about it. I'm pumped about the win. I've been excited all day. I took the day off of school today, for Christ's sake. I mean, there's something to be said about being a fan and wanting to stay home and enjoy this victory with all the great sports analysis that's being done about the Super Bowl today. It's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of this. Just think about Ben. Think about, what has he done wrong? He threw a couple picks. He didn't play his best game. But that's got to be partly the Packers' defense. The Packers had Ben figured out today. And that's the end of it. Really. They had him figured out. That's all it was. Sorry. It wasn't that he couldn't make the plays. It wasn't that he couldn't, he couldn't muster up the energy. It was all the Green Bay defense. Not all the Green Bay defense. Was he a little off the entire game? Yes. Now, was it because of the Super Bowl pressure? No. Might he have been putting a little extra pressure on himself because of him trying to get this third ring to try to cement himself? Maybe. He's human, right? Last time I checked, Ben Roethlisberger is not a robot. So just understand that human beings do make mistakes sometimes, and that entire football game for him was kind of a mistake. Like, I mean, his numbers, 25 for 40, 263, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, he played. If you take the 2 interceptions out, that is the exact same game that Aaron Rodgers played. The exact same. You take the 2 picks away, and you 25 out of 40 or 24 or 39. It's the same. It's one less attempt, but it's the exact same number. So it's very, very interesting how the games worked out. Both quarterbacks played pretty much equal football games. Now, Ben was missing throws. Aaron's guys were dropping passes. Aaron did miss a few throws in this game. People have said that this was one of the best quarterbacking performances in Super Bowl history. I'm not going to go that far. I've watched the full game rebroadcast of Steve Young's 6-touchdown performance on television. I've seen it from wire to wire. I watched the whole thing. I didn't see it live, but I have seen it. And to me, that was the greatest Super Bowl performance ever. I mean, he did not miss a throw in that game. And yes, he had Jerry Rice. And yes, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have Jerry Rice. But he has Greg Jennings. And Greg Jennings, I'm not even going to compare Greg Jennings to Jerry Rice. But I mean, Aaron didn't have the greatest passing performance ever. It was startlingly similar to Ben's performance. Ben had the 2 picks, and he couldn't put together that late game drive, which doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make him not an elite quarterback anymore. He's still an elite quarterback. He's still one of the 5 best in the league. He's just not the 4th. He's now the 5th. We'll get into that a little bit as well. But Ben, don't hate on Ben. Don't hate on Ben because, he's not going to put up the gaudy stats ever because he's on a running team in the first place. What he's going to do is kind of rumble and stumble around, and then late in the game he's going to make the plays. He didn't do it today because the Packers' defense was ready for it. I've never seen a defense win so many games in a row by making one play at the end of the game. They made the playoffs on a late-game interception. They won in Philadelphia on a late-game interception. They won in Chicago on a late-game interception, and they won the Super Bowl on a late-game breakup of a pass. So this is a elite, late-in-game defense. They're the best defense I've seen in a while at defending the 2-minute drill, and I mean that in all sincerity. I'm not saying that because, I'm a Packer fan, and I just watched my team win the Super Bowl, and I'm being emotional. Oh, no, absolutely not. But don't hate on Ben for this loss. That's it. You don't have to be a hater on this guy. There's absolutely no reason to be. He stays right where he was before the game. Is a little bit of his glamour gone? Yes, but that's it. He's not historically diminished or anything. Aaron Rodgers would have been. If Aaron Rodgers loses this game, he's probably not considered an elite quarterback yet. He's probably not because it's only been 3 years and he doesn't have a ring. But now he has a ring. There you go. Now he has a ring. I mean, that sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. All right, coming up next, there's been a paradigm shift in quarterbacks. We will go over that paradigm shift, how Aaron Rodgers fits with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning. Or does he? Also, I'm going to yell and scream about Chris Carter not getting into the Hall of Fame. We'll do that next. It's Ryan Hartson on ESPN, or BW. Goddammit. It's the Ryan Hartson Show on BWC Internet Radio.